So guys, this is where we're going to be looking at the status of Armored Warfare as a game. Now, this is also the first time you guys have seen the T-80 with me. I think it's an alright tank, but it has the same problems most main battle tanks have. So I'm going to do the T-80 review during the PvP portion, which is right now, and then we're going to look at, artillery and PvE and just an overall status of how the game is progressing. And you see this, and you see me keep giving this distressed look on my face. I don't want to do this. But at this point in time, I feel it's necessary to slap the devs in the face. Watch what's about to happen on screen. I am in a T-80. There's a chieftain, a starship, and an M1 Abrams. And then we haven't fired our guns yet. This weasel just comes flying up. We can't hit it. Our guns won't aim quick enough. Watch the Abrams. Weasel comes flying up. Literally drove through our lines. And shreds the M1. Just shredded 3/4 of his hit points before I even reloaded the gun from shooting at the weasel. He shredded 3/4 of the Abrams hit points, and now he's shooting at us. In World of Tanks, that's a dead light tank. He would not have managed to pull that off. He drove literally right through our lines. I am the only one who's managed to hit him, and so far he has caused over twice his hit points in damage. That's stupid. He's firing armor-piercing shells and penetrating at high-angle sides and fronts of main battle tanks. On top of the fact we can't hit him. And now we can't see him. He's pulled back beyond our view range. We can't see him. I'm out of here. Screw this. Game's already lost. He literally took out one of our tier 7s in a matter of, what, 12 seconds from the time he started trying to cross the river till he killed an M1 Abrams and hadn't taken any damage for it. I don't know what the devs are thinking, but this is what's happening. AFVs win, just flat out. Their autocannons do an obscene amount of damage in literal seconds. And I turret ring the Leopard 2 AV. At least I'm getting a kill or two. But that's the first type of AFV. The one that's stupidly fast and you can't hit it. And it can just drive in amongst a bunch of main battle tanks, kill one, and drive away completely scot-free. And there are other reasons besides the imbalance with AFVs. But the second type is the Terminator. Now, I wish that my T-80 had the Terminator's or the Ramka 99's armor profile. Thing is fucking invincible. From the front. Like, period. Unless you know a very small, specific, tiny weak point, it's pretty invincible. From the side, flat on, not so much so, but that's only flat on. If he had that side at a 30-degree angle, I'd bounce. Flat out. With a Sabo round. This is silly. And so now we're down to fighting for our lives at point blank range. And there's the huge slap to the T-80. See, it's really easy for main battle tanks to fight other main battle tanks. It's almost impossible for them to fight AFVs, as you can tell from this friendly BMP-3 that is easily outmaneuvering the T-80 right now. And if I had a shot on the T-80, he'd be dead. But I don't. I do notice the weasel behind me on the map. Now here's the other reason main battle tanks are having such a hard time with the fast-moving AFVs. And it's to deal with your server, devs. I can't just aim at him and hit him. The gun's almost pressed up against him, and you guys saw that. I had to aim 2 meters ahead of him at a range that is not even far enough away from my gun barrel to not be touching the weasel to hit it. That's server lag. Server-side lag. That's why your auto-aim feature is useless. If I'd auto-aimed, I'd have missed. And he would have killed me. He would have killed me before I reloaded. That's the really messed up part. If he was at full health, I'd have no chance. I get a perfect sniper shot at this T-80's commander hatch. Okay, fair enough. Now, the other thing that's really annoying is some of the main battle tank's armor profile is obscene. You either have really stupid armor or you don't have armor at all. So here comes the Challenger. First tank I've had trouble penetrating. And I go, well, I get red on the lower plate, so we're going to shoot the commander's hatch for 200. That's right, 200. Now this Ramka 99 is, or this Terminator, excuse me, not even a Ramka 99, it's not even that devastating, is going to face, and there's server lag for you. I missed because of server lag, but he's face hugging me. The weak point is that little bitty box on the front of the tank, and I missed. But he's face hugging a main battle tank. This should be a dead AFB, and I can't. I have to hit that little bitty tiny weak point. Now I'm dead. Yeah. They don't have to hit that little bitty tiny weak point. The Challenger just punched the front of my turret. What the heck? So you either have AFVs that are impossible for main battle tanks to hit, and you guys saw it. The Terminator was doing 50 to 60 points of damage a shot on me. That's obscene. And this is one of my better matches. 4,000 damage, 4 kills. I had to bust my ass for that. And the little weasel did 3K with armor-piercing rounds. Wow! I know this is turning into a bit of a rant, but seriously. MBTs are not the stars of your show. They are the inferior black sheep that just flat out don't work. Now this only gets worse when you factor in tank destroyers. That striker, I know he's a tier higher. That's fine. Has a higher rate of fire than my T-80 and hits like a Jagdpanzer E100. If you wanted me to make a World of Tanks comparison. He has a higher rate of fire than my T-80 and hits like a Jagdpanzer E100. That was him. All through this PvE match you guys are going to see, that striker is just going to devastate. Like, he can one-shot the enemy AFVs. He hits for 1100, by the way. Very precision point I have to hit to penetrate the Ramka 99. As you guys can see, the other Terminators are just beating on it and can't penetrate. And the striker, of course, just bang right through it. Between tank destroyers and AFVs, main battle tanks are useless. If I had to guess right now, the game goes live, your tournaments and your clan wars will have 0 main battle tanks in them. 0. They won't bring them. The Ramka 99 they will bring for armor, the Weasel, and there's a couple other things. By the way, I did 0 damage on a penetration on a Weasel with a heat shell. What the heck, devs? That's in a PvP match, I'd be dead. I actually hit the target and did nothing on a Weasel with a heat shell. What? Identify target. Thanks. I go ahead and spawn the guys because I'm pretty sure that they can just be taken care of, as you can see by the striker doing 800 with a Sabo round to a Ramka. And then I I move in to finish him off. And the striker, of course, reloads first. Now, this is the other silly part about your physics. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just go off the bridge. I took 400 points of damage for that maneuver. That's my heat shell. That is my first heat shell. Doing 670. And the striker's walking up doing 800. Now, remember how I said that I had real issues with my armor profile? Well, you're about to see them. And at this point, I was just really pissed off. The T-80's been absolutely disappointing, just like the T-72 slowly became disappointing as other people got tier 7s. By the way, that weasel just penetrated me twice from the front, and I retaliate for a half damage roll with a heat shell against a weasel. There is so little of that tank that you can get a full damage roll on it that it's impossible to consistently kill it. And this is the other thing. I broke his fuel tank, and he burned to death, but I didn't actually do any damage to the tank? Are your fuel tanks external? I repair everything, I drive up, and goes to the edge of the reticule. T-72, by the way, penetrates the front of a T-80. He's going to do it again, by the way. He reload. Wait. So your PvE T-72 reloads faster than your T-80. Which doesn't make any sense because the T-72, the version I have, has a 10-second reload. And the T-80 has an 8-second reload. But that's not the biggest disappointment there. The disappointment there was the fact he penetrated the front of my tank 3 times. What? That's not even like a superior or upgraded T-72. That's just a standard T-72 punched the front of my T-80 3 times. That's interesting. That's a low roll for that striker, by the way. $9.99. He's going to hit the 1,000 mark plus several times. And look at how fast he fires. In the time it would take my T-80 to fire 2 shots, he fired 4. Doing 1,000 damage a pop. You want to know why main battle tanks aren't performing well? There's why. When a striker, I mean, this thing could potentially roll up to 2 main battle tanks and kill both of them before they can kill it. From the front, by the way, I'm pretty sure. And the Ramka 99 is just obscene. I've seen them ram a main battle tank in the front and dump armor-piercing rounds into its turret ring and kill it and take no return damage. I was flabbergasted. And then the Warrior, I've seen that too. Rolls up to the front of a main battle tank with armor-piercing rounds, does 1,200 damage in the span of a second, and then reloads in 6 seconds to do 1,200 more. That's faster than the MBT's reload, and he's done 2,400 points of damage in the time that I fired 1 shot and only done 600. What am I supposed to do against these AFVs? They put out an obscene amount of damage very quickly. They are either armored and you can't hurt them, which is... I'm at a loss for words for that one. They're supposed to be the light tanks of the game, not the I'm invincible. Or they move so fast that my MBT can't compensate and hit it. As you saw with the Weasel earlier, I fired a shell and I did hit, but I hit the track only. Shell didn't go where I was pointed because I couldn't keep the reticule full zoom long enough to shoot it. I don't think the reticule should even bloom during minor turret rotation corrections. I mean, I was literally making minuscule corrections to try to lead that guy, and I fired right where I should have. because I hit his track, but because the aim circle was still zooming in, I hit the edge of the aim circle and therefore just hit his track and didn't actually hurt him. And that was during the first match. And now during this, I'm just... There's nothing I feel useless. I am busting my ass to try to output damage. And I have a tank destroyer that... I'm sorry. I did 1,200 and he did 4,000 in the same time span. I can't compete with that. On top of that, I'm pretty sure if the striker pointed at my T-80, he wouldn't even have to aim. He just fires a Sabo and it goes in. That's what we're dealing with. Devs, you need a wake-up call, and this is it. Your game sucks. Your MBTs, the quote stars of your show, the ones you guys keep putting out trailers for and keep trying to show off, in reality, they're useless. By the way, that was an HE shell to the front of my tank. 200 damage HE to the front. And so I've taken 600 damage out the gate before I can even do much of anything. And now I'm reloading to shoot the Stingray, and I put a round in, and the Chieftain finishes it. Okay. HE shell, 200 to the front of my tank. Twice. Plus the Stingray's penetration on my side. Wow. Okay. Are you intending me to bounce shells to complete this challenge? Because so far I've bounced nothing. According to this, I deflected one shot, but I don't see it. Every shot that's hit me's done damage. What is your design of these armor profiles? Like, seriously. You need to really consider that a main battle tank is supposed to be a heavily armored tank. Armor is what makes it a tank. It's supposed to bounce shots. It's supposed to be hard to penetrate from the front. And yet... And then on top of that, it's supposed to be scary. Like, people are supposed to be afraid of these things, and they're not. They're clearly not. By the way, there's a penetration with, I'm guessing, an AP round from the front. And there's another one. I get it's my lower plate, but still, it's penetrating. This little thing is penetrating me from the front. And I have to get either behind it or get a very precision shot to kill it. I think this is the part where I just got completely disgusted. Because the striker, I think, is about to just deliver a hammering blow that just makes my jaw drop. That was a Leopard 2 A5. That striker just did... It says 1125, but that's all the hit points he had left. He did more than that. I'm going to guess with a heat round. But still. What am I supposed to do? What are we supposed to do against that kind of firepower? That thing fires faster than I do. Aims faster than I do. Has a smaller aim circle than I do. And just did 1124? That's 3 shots to an M1A1. The tank with the highest hit points in your game. It could 3-shot it. I'm having to move up here, by the way, to get that little box. That's how a main battle tank armor profile should be. A little box like that should be the weak point. Not the whole underplate. Not the entire turret ring. You have these huge, massive weak points on your main battle tanks, and then you have this little AFV that has a weak point that's actually smaller than my crosshair. What? I'm just laughing at you right now. This is your game design. I can go ahead and tell you right now, this is why you don't have any North American players on your server, and why your EU server this weekend didn't break 1,000. We want main battle tanks to rock, and they suck. They're the things we came here to play, most of us. You know, everybody that hears about, you know, the M1A1 Abrams, by the way, he showed on the back of Leopard to the M1 turret, kills it. That's reasonable. Okay, fine. That's reasonable. Back at the turret, sure. But we came here to play main... Most of us came here to play main battle tanks. We'd never heard of the Weasel. We'd never heard of the Ramka 99. We'd never heard of the Terminator. We'd never heard of the Warrior. They weren't the tanks that are... They're not the vehicles that are the focus to us. Main battle tanks are. We came here to be, you know, drive M1A1s. We came here to drive T-90s. We came here to drive Challenger 2s, which, by the way, isn't in the game yet, and they're talking about putting it at Tier 9, and I'm looking at them like, what else? Do you guys have enough to fill out 2 more? I don't think you have enough tanks to fill out 2 more real tiers. I mean, I don't really see that as a thing, unless you're going to make a lot of paper tanks. Precision shot. See... Even the Sabo round would bounce. I have to get this very precise shot on this guy. And this is what it should be like to kill a main battle tank. I have to get that very precision, tiny sliver at long range. That's what it should be like to have to kill a main battle tank, and it's not. The T-90 does not have that thing's armor profile, by the way. It's the T-90 hull, but it doesn't have the same armor profile. Its armor is weaker. Now you tell me, is that how things are supposed to be? I'm actually afraid of this Bradley right now, by the way. I'm actually afraid of it. Because if he gets beside me, he'll kill me before I can turn the tank. And I'm aiming in, and I look for a shot, and I don't have a penetrating shot on the Stingray. Not with my heat round. It's a light tank. It's supposedly a light tank, but my penetration indicator is red for everywhere I was pointing. What? So the Stingray 2 apparently has armor that can stop the main battle tank heat rounds. Okay. Watch this. He gets hit. And then I think the Striker hits him. Yep, there's the Striker hit. 830 sets him on fire, kills him in less than 3 seconds. Nothing he can do. Side of the Bradley turret, sure, penetrate. Fine. This is just what we're experiencing. The NA server today did not get more than 700 players on it at any point. The EU server, I noticed, dwindled all the way down. The last hours of testing before they closed it, they had less than... By the way, it's 11 p.m. on a Sunday night in Europe when they closed it, but the last few hours they had only 200 people. Between the grind and the fact that main battle tanks are so weak has killed it. The game is dying before it even gets out of closed beta. Those 2 factors, I think, are the biggest 2 factors that are killing the game right now. Main battle tanks, that thing just HE'd me from the front and did 100 points of damage. Yeah. Main battle tanks are this weak, and their armor is I'm laughing at it, but it's not really a laughing matter when it's killing your game, but their armor is laughable. Seriously. By the way, the Striker at the end of this match has just done an obscene amount of damage and made us all look like chumps. The Terminator said, well, we're just here for show because we're not really... Even our overpowered autocannons aren't able to keep up with this Striker just literally every 5 seconds outputting a 1,000-point shot into something. And I mean, this has not been a disappointing time with my T-80. I've been having some fun. It can do damage, but it's just disappointing at this point. I'm sorry guys, it's just so disappointing. The MBT-70 is a saving grace. You guys will see that later, probably this week. It's the only main battle tank I've played that feels like a main battle tank. The problem I have with it is 12-second reload, but it's the only MBT I've played that feels like an MBT. You have armor, you are hard to flank because you're maneuverable and fast. You're not as fast as the AFVs or something, but you're fast enough that you can defend yourself against them. And you have a freaking powerful gun. I would equate it to playing an E100. Which has been a pleasant experience for me. I don't know how I beat the Striker to the punch on that one, but I'll take it. I think the Striker right now is being very hesitant because he has no hit points left and doesn't want to die, which is reasonable. And that's resulting in me being able to put out more shots because I'm just driving around hunting. I'm literally just driving around hunting enemies right now. But I do have a series of premium tanks for you guys. Now, you guys will see the Xylo S in one of these, and you'll realize why I'm going to tell you it's the most disappointing thing I've ever had. It's a tank destroyer with 165 pen at tier 4. Can't penetrate the front of a Patton. Not the M60A3. Not the M60A3. The M60. The tier 3 Patton. Can't penetrate it. I was just like, what? You're a tank destroyer. And then I went and looked and went, oh, you have, like, no penetration. You have worse penetration than my BMD-1. My BMD-1 AFV. Equal tier to the Xylo S tank destroyer. Has 20 more penetration on a heat shell than the Xylo S has on its Sabo. By the way, I think I deflected more than 10 shots. The challenge just didn't register, so devs, that's a bug. Which is the other thing that's killing this game.
Improper response is generally used when they're just like bullshitting you. This is him just... Yeah, I guess so.
It's killing the game. I mean, if you guys would do patches during the test, we would love it. It would give us something to come back to look forward to play, and it would reinvigorate the game a little bit, knowing that, you know, the first day isn't the only patch. If I logged in every day and had to patch Armored Warfare, I'd be happy. That's how it should be going. You guys should be constantly changing stuff, and I know you are, because your early access, what is it called? Build number goes up like 200 or 300 every time you release a new build to us. You need to patch this actively in game. I mean, there is some stupid stuff here. Like my previous Armored Warfare video, I have a picture of what it looks like when you disconnect. If you disconnect and you have areas on your tank that have 0 armor, they de-render. So there's a T-64 that has no gun mantle because his gun mantle counts as 0 armor. Yeah. That's a thing. Doesn't make any sense that the T-62, 64, and 72 all have 0 armor gun mantles. And penetrating the gun on a main battle tank will damage the tank. It's the only tank class I've seen where if you hit the gun, you do hit point damage, as though you penetrated the hull. Also, if you look on the sides of the T-80 here, you see those huge overlays that go over the tracks? If you penetrate those side skirts, you do full damage to the T-80. Just like the T-72, just like the T-64, if you penetrate the side skirts, the area that's just supposed to be there for spaced armor, not the actual hull, you damage the tank. Yeah. Yeah. And you wonder why main battle tanks feel so weak. Well, their armor profiles are definitely one of the biggest factors. They are some of the weakest armor profiles in the game. And that's sad. I don't know what you devs are trying to develop here anymore. Are you trying to develop a modern armor fighting game, or are you trying to develop a game where AFVs and tank destroyers just get to laugh at main battle tanks? Because if you're trolling us all, fine, just admit it. That's how bad it feels, by the way. That striker fired 2 shots before I could reload. Got 2 kills in the span of my reload. But this is how bad it feels. It literally just feels like you guys are developing a game in which AFVs and tank destroyers just get to, you know, slaughter main battle tanks for fun. I'm gonna go ahead and tell my whole population, everybody who's watching, don't buy a Founders Pack. Don't do it. You'll be disappointed. That might change come Early Access 4. That might change. But as of right now, I would not invest in this game. Obsidian, you can expect to get none of my money. Period. I'll play it, but you're not ever gonna get any of my money. And yeah, I guess that it really is the final statement I can truly make about it. You literally have screwed this up so bad that I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna invest in it. And if anything, I'll tell players, go play something else. You'll have more fun. As far as also the other problem I can see is that you don't advertise. I don't know if you guys have an advertising budget or not, but this word of mouth thing isn't working for you. Clearly. But yeah, most players are just, we're fed up. We're fed up of MBTs being so weak. As you guys can see, the striker can reload quicker, does more damage per shot, and aims faster than my main battle tank. Not to mention the fact he aims faster, he stops and gets a sniper bonus on top of doing more damage when he's just, his basic shell does more damage, but his sniper bonus sends him to the ridiculous. Also, that challenge, destroy 10 enemy vehicles in under 3 minutes, that's an absurd challenge. If we calculate my rate of fire as 8.7 seconds and 2 shots per vehicle, I have to throw out 20 shots. So let's think about this. 20 shots would take me 8... Well, let's just say 9, because I have to factor in aim time. Let's factor in aim time. Say 9 seconds a shot. I need to do at least 20 shots. Let's go up to 23, just because, like you're seeing with this Leopard 2, I'm having to put in multiple rounds. Which, by the way, I don't get the kill because the striker just comes up and blasts him. Yeah, that's not going to happen. It will take me over 3 minutes to fire the required number of shells to kill 10 enemy vehicles. So I see this challenge and I know I can't complete it. I just automatically know I can't complete that. When you factor in time to travel to get to the enemy, plus reload time, plus aim time, you're looking at 6 minutes is the minimum time it would take me to kill 10 enemy vehicles. And I don't even think I've killed 10 enemy vehicles because I'm also competing with the other players. I've killed 6. That's it. I've killed 6. And you guys can see I am busting my butt to get these rounds out. And the striker is just... by the time I can aim in on most targets, it blows it away. There's the striker. Okay, well, I'm going to have to move up to shoot this chieftain. There's the striker again. I fire a shot, and the striker gets the kill. Holy crap! There he is again. Look at this. He's in a sniping position, and he's literally just overwatching these guys, and he's flinging. He killed 3 tanks in the span of 20 seconds. I go for the turret ring on the Abrams. Penetrate. He did more damage to that Abrams than I did. That 775 was the striker. I'm so disappointed. Obsidian, I expected better. We all did. We all expected better of you. And at this point during your Early Access 3, your game is dying. Already. It's dying. There's no longevity here. If I hate to say it, your game might not even get as big as War Thunder. That's how bad it is right now. It's not going to be worth it to you guys to run a North American server. Because we're not going to play. I get it's a tank destroyer and all. But, yeah. Wow. I don't know what to say. It can two-shot me. That's no fun. PvE, that thing's gonna PvP, that thing's gonna two-shot my main battle tank. That's no fun. And look at this. I did 20,000 points of damage. He did 35. How are you supposed to compete with that? I just don't know anymore. I mean, I really don't know anymore, Obsidian. I guess we have different ideas about what main battle tanks are supposed to do. But it seems like the general consensus, both from your forums and from other YouTubers and from the community in general, is that your main battle tanks are vastly underpowered. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know anymore. I can't say anything else about it at this point. This is literally what we're dealing with. And yeah, you guys are watching T-72 footage right now, and you guys are seeing these two LAV 300s just 1-2 punch things before I can even get my gun aimed. And also the penetrating of my frontal armor repeatedly by tank destroyers. And I get their tank destroyers, that's fine. But I just feel like in PvP, players are not going to have to really aim to penetrate my main battle tank. They're just going to punch it, and it's going to be pretty silly. Now, I get my T-72 just one-shotted something. Fine. But with a 10-second reload, I better damn well one-shot an AFV. And, of course, there's always the I switched to Sabo expecting enemy MBTs, and holy crap at all the Sheridans. But, yeah. I just don't know anymore, guys. I don't have the patience for this anymore, really. I will play the game some more as soon as Early Access Test 4 comes out. If they have not drastically improved the armor and decreased the firepower of everything that's not a main battle tank. I hate to say that, like, main battle tanks are supposed to be better than everyone else, but they're so weak right now. It's obscene. Then I'm just not going to play anymore. There's no point to me. I came here to play the Leopard 2. I came here to play the T-90. I came here to maybe play the M1 Abrams or the Challenger. I did not come here to play the Stingray. I did not come here to play the Terminator. I did not come here to play the Ramka 99. But those tanks are so much more powerful than my main battle tanks that if I want to have fun with the game, if I want to be the best I can be in PvP, I'm gonna have to go play those tanks, and I feel dirty doing it. It feels wrong because, well, it feels really wrong that my BMD-1 flies up to a T-72, circles him like he can't hurt me, and beats him to death with heat shells. And I literally laugh at how pathetic the main battle tanks are. Because he can't hit me, he can't turn quick enough to retaliate, and every time I get behind him, I dump 2 heat shells into his rear. I find it pathetic that my Terminator drives up to a Leopard 2 AV, and I've done this so many times. It feels wrong to do this. I drive up to a Leopard 2 AV, head on, face hug it, dump 4 missiles into him, do over 2,000 damage, and then drive off scot-free. Because he doesn't know about the tiny box on the front of my tank that's a weak point. And because that tiny box is actually really freaking hard to hit. It just feels wrong and dirty. In LAV 300, you were a dick. Because that cost me 20 grand right there. In the meantime, this is Fiaura officially signing out for right now, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully I have more positive report going for Armored Warfare. But in the meantime, you guys have fun. You take care. Developers, I hope you listened. Because if you didn't, your game's gonna sink. So, that's about everything. In the meantime, this is Fiaura, and I'm signing out, and I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye. Thank y'all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, why not click the like button? It would really help the channel and let me know that you're enjoying my content. Want to see more content? There's a subscribe icon right there so you know when I put up videos. I would appreciate it also if you help grow this channel's community. So share this with your friends or just put it up on Facebook. Want to help Fiaura out directly? There are 3 ways you can do this. One is the patronage page, which all the investment towards I put right back into the channel through contests and paying for things like video editing software. Then there are 2 ways to support the channel directly. One is click the ads that YouTube shows you. This is how YouTube pays its content creators, by your clicks on those advertisements. The other and last way to support the channel is through fan funding that is now available through Fiaura's channel page. If you happen to have an extra $1 or 2, it would really let Fiaura know that her videos mean something to you. Anyway, please check out these other videos here on the end page collage. And as always, I will see you on the battlefield or in the next video. Till then, this is Fiaura signing out.